Breakers podcast. I'm Yahtzee Crochet. I'm joined by Jay and Marty.
What's good?
Last words. Is the frame rate supposed to be like that? Everything's just fucked. Everything's great.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing?
Okay. It's fine. It's probably fine. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. It's sunny and like negative 30 here. But besides that, everything's fine.
It's bloody cold here.
Yeah, it's a big holiday here, right? For national holiday
it's
place.
MLK Day.
Yeah, this will be our
day.
only second wind stream today. Hot Monday Energy crew taking the evening off. But you know what? We were just so excited to chat a little bit about our favorite topic, which is VR. You know what? That actually might be Yahtzee's favorite topic, considering how Fully Ramblebatic is kicking off this year.
Well, it's just that last week was Thief VR, and this week's Fully Ramblebatic upcoming is going to be Deadpool VR. And it's not that I'm generally a VR user. It's just I always seem to use VR at the start of the year during the Wasteland release period because it seems like an opportune time to catch up.
Yeah,
and I do like have an interest in VR. I think it's quite fun.
Me too.
Thief VR isn't. Thief VR is a pile of dog shit. Deadpool VR is better depending on how much of that sort of thing you can put up with.
Yeah.
But yes, let's talk about VR generally because, of course, in the news recently is that Mark Zuckerberg has announced that he's pulling his millions out of the VR space and basically wrapping that all up as a bad job.
Yes, several Meta has shuttered several of their VR studios, including Twisted Pixel, who were the developers of the Deadpool VR, which you will have your thoughts on shortly. Sanzaru, who did Asgard's Wrath 1 and 2, which I think are regarded as pretty good VR games, and then all but shuttered Camouflage, who did the Iron Man and Batman VR games.
It's an Iron Man VR game.
There's an Iron Man VR. I believe it was a PlayStation, a PSVR exclusive, at least for a little.
That'll
bit.
be why I haven't played it.
Yeah. Well, I never heard it was particularly good. Iron Man.
No,
VR.
that was like an early-ish. That felt more of like a kind of tech demo,
like a showcase tech demo-y. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a lingering problem with VR games is that a lot of them still treat it as something that still needs to be tech demoed and showcased because they're all still waiting for it to go off. And the thing about tech is that there's always that stumbling period early on where they put out stuff for it that's only real mission is to show off the tech. I mean, and I'd like to demonstrate, all the cool things we can do with this tech now. I mean, that's like been the case from the beginning of time. Like when VHS first came out, there were people bringing out stuff like just footage of a fireplace for 2 hours. So you could put it on your TV and you've got a fireplace in your house.
Oh, how fancy.
Or they just have footage of a nice boyfriend who would say things to camera. Then you could pretend you have a nice boyfriend.
That sounds nice. I want to give us.
That's the best one. I want that.
It's it's funny because it feels like studios don't really commit the creative resources towards going all in on software until the hardware is kind of proven to be stable and have an audience that would warrant you going all in on the software. And so it does kind of feel like a chicken and the egg scenario that we're currently in.
Yeah. Until it's settled. I mean, I was going to say CD-ROMs did that as well.
Sure.
When they first came out, everyone was bringing out just like multimedia discs to show off, we could put sound and video on CDs now. So they had all these terrible encyclopedia discs or discs that were like multimedia explorations of something or other, like a educational CD about a voyage beneath the sea or whatever. And you could click on all the fish and they'd make funny noises.
I'm gonna be honest, I have fond memories of those.
Me too.
Little interactive museums or whatever the hell you wanted to call them.
I'm replaying the Monty Python the Holy Grail CD-ROM.
Yeah, there was a good James Bond one. There was a Simpsons one. Yeah.
But yeah, eventually CD-ROM settled out and became mainstream. So now it's just, we just put data on this. All the data we need to put out anyway, we just put on this.
Yeah.
And VR is still has a lot of games that come out that are just like, feel how amazing it is to be able to hold a lightsaber and pretend to be Darth Vader. I think that's what the problem with Thief VR. The problem with Thief VR is that it had no ambition to be an actual installment of the Thief franchise. It was just, now you are in what vaguely resembles a Thief game. Marvel at your own hands. Ooh, there's a visibility gem on the back of your hand now.
Yeah, it's tough to transition a non-VR franchise into VR. I feel like we've seen a lot more examples of it kind of stumbling or it feeling like what you just said, kind of feeling like a gimmick, as opposed to a Half-Life Alyx, which is probably the
Half-Life Alyx was great because it was made from the ground up for VR.
It's a game.
The first Batman VR game was terrible. That very much felt like a multimedia CD-ROM experience about Batman. The second
that was not the
Batman
camouflage one. The camouflage one was the one that came out, I think, last year that you're talking about.
The second Batman game, Batman Arkham Shadow, was a decent Batman Arkham game in its own right, and was like actually part of the canon. It was like
what set them apart for you?
Well, because you can actually move around in an environment and solve objectives and get into like free flow combat, as opposed to standing in one place, punching things because the thing in the voice said to punch something.
Yeah. Grim.
Yeah, I think it's aside from the meta news of the studio shutterings, I think it feels like a dire situation for VR in my mind, because aside from Meta pulling out of a lot of that AAA VR space, you're seeing the same thing. Like Sony launched the PlayStation VR 2, but hasn't really shown anything on it since then.
Yeah.
It's funny that Sony took their biggest VR property and then just made it into a regular 3D platformer that won Game of the Year in Astrobot. Like Astrobot was originally their VR thing, and they're like, well, why don't we just make this not VR? And then it won Game of the Year. So not only seen that from Sony, but when like 10 years ago when VR really started to take off, you had Insomniac, From Software, Ubisoft, Capcom all working on VR projects, and you just don't see those from those big third parties, or in some cases first parties, anymore.
Well, first of all, I think where Meta fucked up was that it was trying to present VR as something that it wasn't. And what VR is a very, very good immersive experience for a solo player that makes great solo experiences, adventures, little moments where you can take a break from life and experience what it would be like to be Batman. That's where VR shines. And the problem is that doesn't sell. Like the lone experience doesn't really sell in mainstream tech industry. So every time there's a new platform, it can't just be games for one lonely spot in his living room. It's got to be able to run apps for one thing. You got to be able to run apps and play YouTube videos, and it's got to be teleconferencing, and it's got to be a social thing, and you got to get all your friends around to play VR games with your friends, and that works for the Wii. The Wii was a good social platform. You got your friends around and acting like idiots, pretending to be playing tennis. There is no social element in VR whatsoever. It is a good thing for niche gamers, and Meta would just weren't content to let it just be a good thing for niche solo player gamers.
Yeah. Have I told you about my mum's 50th birthday?
I'm hoping this isn't.
It'd be amazing if it didn't have anything to do with VR.
I'm hoping this isn't a non sequitur. Yes,
I love VR. Before I moved to the States, I had multiple headsets. Really, really love it. My mum isn't much of a gamer. She plays on her iPad. She plays like mobile games and stuff like that. But randomly one day she was like, "Jay, I want to get into VR." She bought a Quest 3, and she played it all the time. And for her, she loved it so much that for her 50th birthday, we said, "What do you want to do? Do you want to go out for food? Do you want to do what do you want to do?" And she said, "I just want you and my sister to come over, and I want you to play a VR horror game with me." So we put it on the TV screen so it mirrored it, and she would watch us play VR because she loved it so much. So I've experienced a little bit of a social thing, but I do completely agree with you, Arts. It's very hard to sell it as such, because I think that's one of the ways they're trying to get more people to invest in it and buy things. Is it can be a social thing. It can be this thing you can do with people.
And they try to push it as like a casual gaming platform, rather than a core gaming platform. They put like Fruit Ninja on there and like casual mobile style games. And I'm like, who the fuck casually buys and sets up a VR system? Who the fuck casually puts on a helmet that cuts off all their senses of the outside world?
You mentioned the Wii, and I think they're trying to recapture that kind of virality of the Wii when it came out, where you could go to someone's house, it's at like a house party or a birthday party or something, and play 30 seconds of Wii Sports and immediately be like,
you're sharing in the gimmick, right?
And they're trying to replicate that, but the thing is, it is so far removed from that. It is such a it is a process, like putting that helmet on. I mean, it's gonna seem silly because it's a quick process, but it is like there is a cost of like a physical cost of entering VR. And the other problem is it's hard to show off VR through footage, through streaming, through like anything. Like you can't watch, you know, an indie game can blow up if a big streamer streams it early and shows it off and a bunch of people are like, oh, I'm gonna buy that. But like people aren't really streaming VR, and even if they were, like it doesn't have that same kind of virality or feedback.
Well, you can't really look at the chat while you're VRing. And the thing about VR is that you literally can't do anything but the VR and play the game of whatever it is you're playing at the time. Yeah. You can't look at chat. You can't, you know, you can't have a second screen going with like a YouTube video. You can't keep an eye out for the mailman.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I talked about this in my VR video that I did for Semi Emblematic a while back. But the thing about VR is that it's always going to be niche because a lot of people just find it a little bit disquieting to completely cut off their awareness of the outside world, especially these days with everyone on their phones. Kids, am I right?
Even like with just playing, like I absolutely adore Alex. I think Half-Life Alex is really, really, really good. And I would play that game for like really long sessions. And after you'd been in VR for a while and you take the headset off, it's a really weird feeling to like come back. Like you've been so sweaty and tight on your head so that when you like take it off, there's this like release that feels good. And it makes me not want to put the headset back on. I think before this started, we were talking about like headsets and weight and stuff like that. And I think that's another big barrier. Not just it's really hard to show off VR to people who aren't experiencing it. It's hard to sell it without actually putting them in it. But also the idea of doing it is uncomfortable. And that's a huge barrier for me.
Yeah, there's still two Full Emblematics in a row are going to be our VR games. Did you get the grumblies while playing them at all? Did you get like the little stummy rumbles while playing?
No, I've got
I've
got my VR legs stomach wise. They still do give me headaches, so I still have to take a break every after every mission or every couple of hours. I think that might just be the design of the Quest 3 and that it's like pressing my glasses into my face.
Yeah, because we were talking about the big, obviously, VR hardware this year is Valve's Steam Frame, which was revealed last year alongside the Steam Box.
Yes, I haven't looked into that. What do we know about that?
We don't. We know almost nothing about it. I mean, they have like a bunch of tech details, but they haven't shown off any software. We don't know the price. We don't know when it's being released. Other than I think their plan is.
Well, if it's just a thing you can run all the VR games that already exist, then that seems viable to me.
Yeah, and it's gonna be in conversation with Steam and SteamOS and
because running Steam games through the MetaQuest 3 is an arse and a half. I tell you that.
Yeah,
but my two requests for improvements on the Quest 3 are that it be lighter and maybe not so front heavy.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I've had a big problem with VR headsets because I have to wear my glasses for everything. I've just had a big problem. They're always uncomfortable with my glasses because I also have
got big glasses.
Pushing on the sides is one of the issues for me. I think that's what gives me the headaches is the pushing on the glasses.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. I used to have, for my old Quest 2, I had specially made lenses I could put in there, but they weren't compatible with the Quest 3, and I haven't bothered to order new ones. So, oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cost me $100 to get those specially made.
Oh, what a pain in the ass.
Frame.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Steam Frame, which I think has kind of been the thing with VR, is it's every time they show it, it feels like it is hard. They're showing off hardware, which is cool for the people who are really into this and who really care about the nitty gritty numbers. But if we're talking about kind of broadening the players and having it release or having it reach a larger audience, hardware is not the way to do it. You need to be here are games that you can only play here that you should be excited for, and that's what gets people in. That's what sell people on a PS5 or a Switch 2. It's not the promise of new hardware.
because it's such an immersive experience, like this platform would be good for like big, long games that you can like settle into and enter a fantasy world for an entire afternoon. Yeah. And that's why it's been disappointing that there's still so many of the tech demo shit.
Yeah. And you get, it's that thing of, the big developers are worried about putting the resources towards it. Your CD projects, and your From Softwares, and your Segas, and everyone.
Well, it's always going to be niche, as I said, but the industry just doesn't want niches at this point. It's like we want to be able to market this to as many people as possible. I'd argue that a niche has a right to exist, even if it will never be more than a niche.
Less niches, more nephews. What were you going to say?
I feel like, I completely agree, both of you. I feel like one of the big issues with the whole tech demo scene with VR is the fact that all of these big companies have been trying to compete with each other to be the one, and the only way they can advertise, why should you buy Steam VR rather than like Meta, is by doing this weird tech demo bullshit of being like, look how much more powerful we are. And because of that, they keep making newer and newer iterations to try and make them lighter and better and faster, which means I feel like the market hasn't had time to settle. Like, you don't see this kind of rapid progress with consoles.
Yeah.
Like, even though they both have exclusives, you don't see that. So people don't have, like, why would I, and I've been guilty of this, why would I, when I want to buy a VR headset, buy a Quest 2 when I know that in 6 months a Quest 3 is going to come out?
Oh, quite. And then make your specially ordered lenses obsolete. Exactly.
Exactly. And because of that, I think that also has a knock-on effect on developers. There's this horrible cycle for VR, which is nobody's buying them because there's no games on them. Like really good, decent games like Alex and stuff like that. There's not a huge library of them. And because nobody's buying them because there's no games, nobody's making games because no one's buying them. So I do think that as much as it's terrible news that all these studios were shut down and Meta's like backing out from the VR race, if Steam are going to be the front runners and it is going to be the headset that you get, I think more developers might be encouraged to dip their toes more into VR, and we might see, like, if we just hone in on that one headset, I think we could see it get a little bit of a resurgence, but maybe that's me huffing copium because I just like VR.
No, that's an interesting point, because I'm all for wanting competition in all of these spaces, but it almost feels like we're too early for competition because we don't have the foundation laid yet. It's almost like Valve needs to come lay that foundation that everyone buys into, and from there the competition can start. Because right now, having this fractured landscape with different first-party headsets across different manufacturers, some of which aren't even compatible with older versions of things, like PSVR 2 wasn't a one-to-one with PSVR games. Like that's kind of a fucked way to do things.
There's already a great foundation for VR on PC, of course, because Steam already has a bunch of VR games. And if you want the platform for tech heads who like niche stuff and spending time away from their families and being lonely and sad and pimply and fat, then PCs,
I feel like you just went over the edge there.
PC gaming, they're all there. That's where all of those guys are.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all the sexy, in-shape people are waiting for their Nintendo Virtual
Switch
Boy
free
headsets to arrive in less than a month. Yeah.
All the sexy and fit people played Wii and then dropped it like a hot coal when the next trend rolled around. And Nintendo were left scrambling, trying to bring back the old audience they'd alienated with all their fucking Wii music bollocks.
I don't know. I feel like we could see a really big influx of new PC gamers with like the Gabe Cube and like this new VR headset.
The Gabe Cube? Is that the new name for the Steam console?
Yeah. That's what I'm calling it. The Gabe Cube. I feel like there's going to be a big resurgence of people who've been intimidated to get into PC gaming have a way in that's like easy and basically like a console. And I'm hoping that once the VR market goes more towards Steam, now that they're the only ones investing money into it, that becomes the thing. And we were speaking about it earlier. I was like, I would love to play Resident Evil 4 VR. Like, I would love to, but I need a Quest to do it. If, like, if you're like, you can play Alex and Resident Evil and Deadpool all on this Steam headset, that's a much easier sell for me. I'm like, cool, I'll buy one. But if it's like, well, you can get a Quest and you can only play X games because they're not compatible with this, and you can only do, X, Y, and Z, then why would I spend $500 plus on a headset?
The question is how much Valve intend to be charging for the Steam frame, because of course they've done VR headsets before, and they just completely priced themselves out of the market, really.
Yeah.
Well, and especially with all electronics like this going up in price this year.
Yes.
Thanks, AI.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks tariffs.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to be here? It's also, you bring up Resi. It's interesting because a few years ago, Capcom felt like they were super committed to VR. We got both versions of Resi 4 in VR. We got VR editions to Resi 7 and Resi 8. They've mentioned nothing with Requiem so far, which doesn't mean maybe they don't add it afterwards, but it almost seems like they've listen, we gave this a try. People seem to like it, but I imagine their internal numbers were like, this probably isn't worth what it was costing.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get that stuff implemented. It's not a drag and drop situation, right? Oh, we have the environments. Let's just create a new, 3D capsule for people to play as with simulated arms. It's not that simple. So like millions of dollars go into making that compatible. And if they have the numbers on how many people actually use it, it's probably not worth it for them,
No, and you mentioned Yahtzee, you mentioned earlier how this is kind of like the hardest of the hardcore are in line for this, whereas I was waiting for more casual non-gaming things to really take off in VR, and it just never happened. Like, I thought we would see stuff like concerts and sporting events and travel and movies, like more of a focus on that kind of stuff. And I just got it.
Nobody casually straps half a kilogram of electronics to their face.
Yeah.
That's the long and the short of it.
Until that can be transformed into something casual. And maybe AR is the answer for that side of things.
Well, that was the
Apple Vision Pro
my
is the answer to that.
That was my consideration when I was talking about this in my Somewhere Emblematic. But I don't think AR would really work unless you could create wearable tech that's small and light enough to be worn as if it's just like a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah.
And because no one's going to walk around in public wearing those fucking Meta strapped to the bonds jobbies. They'll look like an absolute wanker and be targeted for crime.
Wankers. Yeah.
Just get there. You got your wallet stolen several times while you were in the net.
They do need to cater towards the hardcore. How do you do that?
I would only wear augmented reality sunglasses if it wasn't obvious I was wearing augmented reality sunglasses. If they just passed for normal sunglasses.
Ray-Bans have got some that just look like Ray-Bans, and they've got cameras in them, and they've got augmented reality. It's getting there. It's just, what is the market for that?
It's got to be legally iffy, putting a camera in something that nobody knows is a camera.
Well, I think in public, you can film anywhere in public. So
yeah, but not in private. Not doing it like a business.
Well, what if you took off your glasses? What if you took off your glasses and pretended to polish them and just put them under a lady's skirt?
There's a literal
as you were
crime.
Polishing them.
I think that's exactly. That might be a crime.
Exactly.
That's a crime.
Exactly. That would be a literal crime. There would be.
To be honest, if I was a lady and somebody was polishing their glasses underneath my skirt, regardless of whether they're a camera, I'd probably be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, we're talking about a very tall lady, obviously.
Okay. A
giantess
from Resi 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's be that one French lady from Street Fighter 6.
There you go. I know some people who've gone in on Apple Vision Pro and they're like, this is the way of the future, but they are kind of like insane, like Y2K fetishists of like, well, no, this isn't like where people are going to lean towards, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what could be the thing that could convince me that, VR is here to stay. Like massive price cuts, which aren't going to happen. Like a crazy redesign leap in technology, like we've always said of them being as simple to put on as a pair of sunglasses, or a game where I'm like, oh, this is like a once in a generation experience that I need to hop in on. We got that with Alex, but that was kind of it, right?
Just cater to hardcore gamers, and we just need a couple big double or AAA devs to just invest a bunch of money into the Steam headset and just release some bangers.
And accept that VR is always niche. VR is always going to be niche because most people don't want to just completely cut themselves off from the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What
and people aren't going to do cyberspace either. No one's going to teleconference in cyberspace. Just accept it, Mark Zuckerberg.
We're in the metaverse. What with reflecting on last week's review of Thief, and then without spoiling anything from the upcoming review of Deadpool, what is something? It seemed like you were warmer on Deadpool than you were Thief. What is like something VR wise that Thief did egregiously wrong, and what's something that Deadpool did right that you were like, oh, okay, this feels like some semblance of a path forward for VR if more games did something like X?
Well, I think it just come down to effort. Like I was saying, not coming across like a tech demo, because Thief VR, the main thing it did wrong was that there was so little of it. There was like a bunch of really small maps, and there was like 3 different guards who were basically the same, and then it was over. And it was just kind of insulting, really. Whereas Deadpool VR,
like in the story of Thief, like was it supposed to be between Thief 2 and 3 or whatever?
It was. It took place after all the Thief games because Garrett from Thief shows up as like a voice in your head, and it comes across as like they just put him in so they could say he was in it.
Gotcha.
Deadpool VR, on the other hand, there's effort been put into it. There's like all kinds of set pieces and encounters. It feels like in spirit with the Deadpool game for the 360 that came back way back when.
Sure, the Nolan North one.
Yeah, and there's like fun. It like gets the blood pumping. Like there's an opening sequence where you're riding in a car, shooting at baddies from the passenger seat while "Kickstart My Heart" plays on the radio. Like the literal very song I brought up in my Guardians of the Galaxy review, in which I said that "Kickstart My Heart" wins me over all the time.
Weird that 2 Marvel games have both used.
I know. I referenced that in the review.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like Marvel's video game division, and now they've got the cheat code.
Yeah,
they got the cheat code for what makes me like something. But yeah, like throughout the rest of the game, it keeps the energy up. There's like high impact, high speed, sort of Bulletstorm-esque combat where you got swords and you got guns, you get bonuses for how interestingly you kill people. Mm-hmm. And it's Deadpool. People always like Deadpool. The merc with a mouth. He's just full of gags, isn't he? Just always got a gag to say. Oh God, how we love him for that.
Oh,
there's another issue for VR, and this is like a design and accessibility issue for me, which is I think the thing that sets VR games apart, that stops them being tech demos, is exactly what you said about the 2 Batman games, and what sets Alex apart, which is the ability to actually navigate and interact with the space. And the keyword there is navigate, because there are 2 modes of transport in VR games. It's either moving with analog sticks on the controllers, or throwing your shoes, like the teleporting. Mm-hmm. And if you throwing your shoes is very immersion breaking, because you're immediately being teleported to a new space. I'm fine with it because I got used to it in Alex.
I never do shoe throwing. Yeah. I'm like full movement. I've got my VR legs, baby.
That's the thing. Most people, myself included, do not have their VR legs, and doing analog movement immediately makes me motion sick. And I don't get motion sick in any other aspect of my life apart from using the analog stick, which is why a lot of VR games try to be stationary in one space, because they're trying to limit that motion sickness. But you need to expand out of that and have proper movement and gameplay mechanics to make things interesting. So it's like you're juggling motion sickness and making the game fun. I do not envy these designers.
You just got to get used to it. That's why it's called VR legs.
Yeah, but say that to someone who's just spent $500 and they put the headset on for 10 minutes and it makes them feel ill.
Well, next
God,
time,
I've wasted my money.
Well, next time put it on for 11 minutes, and within like a month or so, you'll be
wean yourself into the fun.
You'll be running up and down the deck of the P-Quad like nobody's business. Anyway,
what's a modern franchise or developer? Is there anything that could be announced for VR that would really pique your interest?
Well, I just Googled it actually because I wasn't sure. I wanted to see if Pacific Drive had a VR version. And it doesn't have an official one. You can mod it, apparently.
Sure.
But, I was just thinking I'd really like to play Pacific Drive in VR. Because one of the things VR does well is piloting vehicles. As you say, having static things in front of you, like the dashboard of a car, can do a lot to help with the motion sickness.
Yeah, I liked. I thought the VR in Star Wars Squadrons was neat because you were just
Yes.
inside of a cockpit and you were looking around like, oh, look at all this stuff.
I would like to play something like Steel Battalion in VR. They tried to do it in Kinect, but it fucking sucked. But I want to do like I want to be in a cockpit
developed
of
that one. You know who developed the Steel Battalion Connect game?
It was from Software, wasn't it?
It was from Software. It was from Software.
Yeah.
Lazy Miyazaki.
Yeah.
I agree with all those. I think something that would excite me is moving out of the. I know this is going to seem a little bit counterintuitive, but I'd like to see some games move out of the first-person space. I'd like to see some games where I am looking top down on a battlefield and I'm moving armies and I'm like commanding, like stuff like that.
Well, I got good news for you. Civilization VR is a thing. You can. It does that very thing you describe.
I didn't know that. See, here's another issue: marketing. Didn't know that existed.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, things like that. I would like Warhammer and more games that are like. I'd love to see Insomniac do a VR project, like a VR Ratchet and Clank, where you're like top down controlling things, and you're like you get to see the whole map and stuff like that. So just something fresh that isn't just I'm throwing my shoes and shooting things with a gun. Just something a little bit different.
It's funny. Insomniac did 3 VR games. None of them attached to any of their IP. They were early ones, like literally like Oculus launch. A game called Edge of Nowhere, which I think was the best one, which was kind of like a survival game where you're like climbing in Antarctica trying to survive.
Oh wow!
Another game called Feral Rights. Another one called The Unspoken.
Well, they've always like been big on having like side divisions making smaller games. Insomniac.
Yeah, and I want to say this was before they were. I mean, yes, it was before they were acquired by PlayStation.
Okay, there we go.
Which checks out. Yeah, I like third-person VR games. I think those are interesting. I think the handful of platformers I've played, like Moss,
it's like Moss,
original Astro Boy, Lucky's Tale,
Super Lucky's Tale. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on that.
I kind of like. Maybe it's just because I really like 3D platformers.
I just want to see more of it.
I mean, even in like Moss, you are still in a first-person perspective. You're just not in the perspective of the person doing the platforming. You're in the first-person perspective of something else that's observing it all,
watching.
I mean, couldn't you say that about every game though?
Well, yeah, but you still like you got head tracking, so you got more perception of the fact that you're an actual entity looking down on everything.
Yeah.
Puzzle games, more puzzle games. Like it's the usual
escape rooms
series, Marty. Sorry,
Escape rooms? You like VR escape rooms?
Yeah, like Escape Simulator would be really cool in VR. Just anything that's very tactile with like I have to move little pieces of stuff, like The Room, series, like making some VR games of that, of just like here's an intricate little box, figure it out, and like you can move around it and like move pieces. Like there's something very tactile about that I really like.
Speaking of The Room VR, while we're at it, give Tommy Wiseau a little VR kit. See what he makes.
God.
Let's give that freak a leak.
That's definitely what I was thinking of as well when you said The Room.
But yeah, Jay, I mean, like something like obviously the Nintendo game, so it won't happen, but something like Captain Toad, where like it is very like a puzzle game that's very like diorama, tactile, like, ooh, what's going on in there? I do feel like a lot of Nintendo games, like I think a Pikmin VR game would be neat to kind of be
like
looking
a Paper Mario.
Pikmin. Yeah, or like even like having that third person, having that like camera of God in like Link's Awakening, the new one or something. But you know, Nintendo. Yeah,
you're playing a top-down game, but you also have the ability to kind of. It's like the VR-ness of it is not like the key component. I guess I just thought of an issue with top-down playing Link's Awakening, but you are also in VR. You're just gonna be playing like this the whole time.
Oh yeah, your neck's gonna be
your neck's gonna snap.
I once modded. I had an old VR headset, and I modded the base jumping game into VR, which was fun. But again, you have to spend the whole time looking straight down because you're falling down a pit.
Yeah.
So it was a bit silly, really.
Yeah.
Any last points before we go to Super Chats?
I think everyone watching or listening should buy 10 copies of the Virtual Boy headset so that we convince Nintendo to go all in on VR again.
Don't buy the Virtual Boy. It will destroy your eyes.
I already bought it.
It's the Mask of the Red Death, but in console form.
I already bought it 15 minutes ago. I'm like,
you're lost. You're lost to us.
Yeah.
You're now lost to our
dead.
cause. The darkness comes.
Yeah, that was it. That was it for me.
Okay, then.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, let's kick off with Raven's Weekly Word of the Week. Week 33, Anadrome.
Anadrome.
It's another one I had to look up, but apparently it's a word that, when spelled backwards, spells a completely unrelated word. So the way stressed spelled backwards becomes desserts.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it has to actually spell a word rather because if it could just spell anything else, that's most words.
Yes. Incidentally, I'm very fond of the fact that the poet T.S. Eliot, his name approximates to a backward spelling of toilets.
Toilets. What about does Anadrome something backwards?
Immordana. Welcome to the land of Immordana, your new immersive VR fantasy experience.
Oh God.
Possibly.
Top down my neck.
Beautiful.
Anyway, KingDave42 gives $2, says MLK Jr. was one of VR's big proponents. Well, he did have a dream. He dreamed that his 4 little children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the effectiveness of their VR headsets.
By the weight of their headsets.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I feel I'm going to be honest. I am concerned for the future of VR. Not like concerned, like.
So I thought you were going to say I'm concerned for the future of race relations in America, and I was.
I'm also deeply, that's 1,000% concerned.
I'm also very concerned.
But yeah, I don't. I keep wanting to give VR a try, and it's just not clicking.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the new Steam one. I had to sell all my VR stuff when I came here, but I'm gonna do it with the Steam one. And it's not because it's a tax write-off. It's because I want to do it.
You'll be lucky.
Because even a tax write-off, you're still paying for the thing. It's not like you just go and then they're like, well, you don't pay anything for it. No,
but it's also a cheeky bonus that is a tax write-off.
I love a cheeky bonus. Cheeky bonus.
Anyway, Jim Matchett, member for 26 months in the tip jar. Thank you very much. And then Air Sick Dolphin gives 50 Swedish kroner and says, Marty, you baka, give us a waka waka.
What's a baka? Like a Chewbacca?
A baka?
I think it's the anime. It's a Japanese.
I'm astonished you didn't know this, Marty, but baka is Japanese for idiot.
Oh, I got roasted. I can't just give a waka waka. Like a waka waka has to occur naturally. Right. We'll see if anything happens for the rest of the stream that deserves a waka waka.
I mean, yes. Don't want to turn into the I didn't do it boy, do you?
No one wants to turn into the I didn't do it boy.
Anyway, Tsunami Dusha gives $20 and says nothing. Just getting that out of the way quickly, I suppose.
Douche got tsunami'd.
B Smiley 11 gives $5 and says, it's a little sci-fi, but what do you think of non-Neuralink brain interface? It has made huge strides recently and will eventually be non-med and normalized. I think bringing up direct neural interface in conversations about VR is a bit short-sighted, because if we have direct neural interface, that's the technological singularity right there. If we can interface the human brain data with computers, we all become robot dolphins like next year. That's
so you think we've leapt past VR once that happens?
That's the end of society, basically. We all become like parts of the universal overmind.
Yeah, it's like if me and Marty are sat there with 2 cars and we're trying to decide which one to buy, and then the Yahtzee comes over and says, "Yeah, but have you ever considered just flying?"
Yes, that's the neural interface in VR conversation.
It will be cool. I am behind it though. Like I think that is the future, but it is the future.
Is that something in our lives?
Yeah, maybe not in our lifetime.
If you can convert human brain data to digital information and back, as I say, that's the end of society.
We are computers.
We had a good run.
Anyway.
We actually did a pretty bad run on the whole.
We'd probably have much better lives once we're all just digital consciousnesses inside the infinite virtual dream space.
I will infinitely play World of Warcraft forever.
There you go.
That'll be great.
Let me just join the pluribus hive mind. Let me just get hive mind. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
Exactly. It's almost lunch.
I mean, what was it actually like to be in the Borg? Like, just to be aware of the entire galaxy and of your place in it. That must have been pretty heady, I'd have thought.
In Pluribus, they seem thrilled by it. They seem like they're having a great time as part of a Hive Mind. So, what do we know?
Anyway, Airsick Dolphin gives 50 Swedish krona and says, Jamate, you barker, what's a Polynesian haka?
As in the dance from New Zealand.
Yeah, that's like the rugby or soccer dance, right?
Yeah, it's like they do it at celebrations, at funerals. It's like a way to show respect. Also used to instill fear in their enemies. They do it like the I think they're the New Zealand Blacks. The rugby team do it every time before they play. It's like a way to intimidate.
I
Fucking
The
awesome.
Rock and
It's
Roman
really
Reigns
cool.
did it in one of their Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Why was that question addressed to you? Are you like renowned for having?
I think Barker and Haka they sound similar.
I think Airsick Dolphin's just doing a thing because they'll be back in a couple of super chats. Anyway,
Baka in a couple of super chats. No, I was just wondering if that was specifically guided because you had a great answer for that. Whereas if someone would have said to me,
I do have family in New Zealand. I do, but that's nobody really knows that. So unless this is
Zealand?
someone,
what's going on with the name New Zealand?
Is that you?
Old Zealand?
Ollie?
Old Zealand is in the Netherlands, I think.
Get the fuck out! All the way over there?
I could be wrong.
That's nuts.
There used to be a body of water in the Netherlands called the Zuiderzee, which has been converted thanks to dikes into arable farmland. Good on you, the Netherlands.
You learned something. Congrats, Netherlands.
Anyway, Miss Harmony. Oh, sorry, missed one. Sinus the Hedgehog gives $5. It says, "Morning, lads. Finished Haste, and it's really fun, especially with the plot twist and ending. And Yahtzee's right. It's the best non-Sonic Sonic game ever, isn't it? Though I could play that all day.
Plot twist and ending. I didn't play enough to finish it.
I haven't finished it. I still haven't finished it. I got to the final boss fight. And I've just never beaten it because it's too bloody hard.
It does get tough.
Yeah, of what I've played, the difficulty curve in that game is pretty steep, and failure is punished quite hard. Like, I know it's meant to be repeated, but you do get chucked back a long ways.
Yes. Anyway, Miss Harmony gives $1.99 and says, "This is for less niches, more nephews." Cry laughing emojis.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
That got me, Miss Harmony. So
we did it.
Thanks.
Yeah. And then Airsick Dolphin comes back with another 50 Swedish krona and says, "Yahtzee, you barker, koala or quokka?" Well, I have a photo of me hugging a koala from my time in Brisbane. That's just the picture everyone has to get when they visit Brisbane. I think they force you to do it before you can leave on an airplane.
It's like getting a passport photo. You have to get it.
Koalas are adorable. Quokkas are so cute.
Quokka have a reputation for being basically the most photogenic animal on Earth.
They're just like always smiling.
What is a quokka?
It's a koala-like small marsupial.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're extremely photogenic.
Yeah, they're just always smiling. They're just always having a good time.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
They're also aren't koalas like lousy with some STD? And I don't think quokkas.
Yeah, they've got chlamydia. Well, most of them have chlamydia.
Well, the one I was cuddling never mentioned that.
Did you get tested?
Afterwards, it sure did.
Unrelatedly, later, yes. Anyway, Sinus the Hedgehog comes back with $5. Says, "Best experience with VR was PS VR Worlds, especially the London Heist game. Really got a good feel for shooting. Makes you want to give Boneworks a try. I'd recommend Boneworks. It's fun."
Boneworks.
That's the one I got after I finished Alex, and I was really excited because it's by the what are they called? The devs who used to do like Corridor Crew stuff and Corridor. They're like YouTubers. They're really good. And the issue I had with that was that they didn't have throw your shoe movement. You could only do like true locomotion.
Well,
and it made me sick, so I put it down.
Boneworks was the game that was like, right, we're going to do this VR thing properly now. So it was the first game that sort of had what I now think of as the full suite of VR abilities. In that it had shooting and climbing and melee, and they had like a single-player campaign where you adventured through various worlds, and it was the first sort of serious non-tech demo-y game for me in VR.
Yeah,
I think PlayStation dropped the ball by releasing with the launch of the PSVR a thing called PlayStation VR Worlds, and none of the things were set in any noticeable PlayStation world. Like it feels like they could have made VR experiences in the world of Uncharted or in the world of God of War or in
God
the
of
world
War
of Gran
or
Turismo.
Horizon.
Yeah,
Ratchet
Little
Clank,
Big Planet. Yeah. And like they ended up releasing like a VR Horizon thing, but I don't know. It just seems like that. One of the things I thought would be like a shoe-in with VR is that all these big AAA games are going to come in the same way that like we kind of got that shoehorned multiplayer in for that one era, like the late 2000s, early aughts. I felt like it was going to be shoehorned VR experiences. Walk around Nathan Drake's house in VR, or like here's solve puzzles in God of War in VR. We just didn't get anything, which I don't know.
I like how Lara Croft and Nathan Drake both have houses.
They just live in normal ass. I mean, Nathan Drake's house is normal, whereas Lara Croft is like a fucking 1%.
Lara Croft has he doesn't just have a house; it's a mansion.
A butler that you can fucking lock in the closet.
But if you got a butler,
tutorial level.
Yeah,
you're the top 1% of the yeast. I'll tell you what.
You know who played the butler in the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies?
Great question.
Who was it?
No,
it was played by Chris Barry, Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
Look at that.
Yes, it was.
Father of Matthew.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah,
that's true. It's probably not true.
Anyway,
Eric's frantically trying to find it. Oh my god.
Yeah. Sinus Hedgehog comes back with $2. Says puzzles are good too, like that Psychonauts VR game. Never played that Psychonauts VR game, but I was glad that Psychonauts 2 still acknowledged it as part of the canon.
Yeah, it was kind of like the clock in between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love VR cock. We need more VR cock. We don't have enough VR cock.
Oh, I've always thought that while playing VR. Good God, if only there was some cock in my mouth right now.
Yeah, no, not the mouth. Like right in front. Like we need the cock in front of us, not like the cock.
Yes, yeah, between the headset and your face.
I need cock in front of me, close enough to touch with my tongue.
Sure, but you don't want it
anyway
to get the cock inside you.
Anyway, Covered in Sponges gives $5. It says, as far as movement, apparently you can make a cheap VR treadmill using a mouse and a treadmill. Well, I imagine that would be a very limited VR treadmill. Covered in Sponges.
Yeah.
How's the mouse going to hold up your weight? It's crazy.
I think that you just put the mouse on the treadmill and like between your legs, and as you run,
computer mouse,
like the mouse just gets pulled along.
Interesting.
Because at that point you should just get a treadmill and like play a game while you're on the treadmill, like play like a
game
on your phone.
I never wanted like full one-to-one movement in my VR. I mean, because like if I'm playing something like Gears of War, my character has to like constantly run around and keep crouching behind things, and I can't do that.
Yeah, it's exhausting running around.
My legs would wear out, and then I'd be all like, "Oh, me back!" every time I was getting up from cover.
Trip over your coffee table.
I'd love that. I want that in my life.
You'll be dead on your office floor in Yahtzee or Toffee.
Yeah, but I'll be smiling,
nibbling,
sweaty and smiling.
Yeah, Toffee's just waiting for that.
Sweaty and smiling.
There you go. Sinus the Hedgehog comes back with $2. Says VR Sports will give Wii and Kinect a run for their money.
Oh, will not give Wii a run for its money.
Wii's dead.
Yeah,
I mean, what and Kinect? They're just gonna like be lying there dead, and VR Sports looking over saying, "Ha ha, yeah, jealous," and Wii and Kinect just lying there dead, making no response.
Well, and Wii Sports, I mean, already like won. I mean, it's one of the great best-selling games of all time. Granted, it came bundled, but still, it's probably one of the
everyone got it.
One of the most owned games of all time.
Well, sure, eyeballs, the most popular thing humans have.
Everyone's got a cupboard full of dust-gathering plastic controller accessories now, haven't they?
Joke's on you, I've thrown those away, and I now regret it.
Oh God, the number of Rock Band drum kits I went through. I mean, they say to hit it like it's a real drum kit, but they never seem to last.
That was a lie.
Anyway, Dr. Theo, member for 23 months in the tip jar. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, Dr. Theo.
Sinus the Hedgehog comes back. Blimey, we can't keep him away. Gives another $2 and says, I'd love a bartending game like Va 11 Hala in VR.
Like a realistic bartending game or like a goof
I could dig that.
Game? Like a genre bartending game.
Probably fun.
Yeah, like you're stood in a limited space, but there's a reason for it, right? You're behind a bar and you have to move around, get certain, they order a drink, you go get the right, liquor, stuff like that. I reckon I could see a bartending game.
That's like you could have a sort of Papers, Please kind of thing where you can't serve people underage.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you do it at a tavern, you can give it like a fantasy spin. I dig it.
Different bar backdrops.
Excuse me. Dr. Theo gives $5, says, how do you think you guys would do if you were in Taskmaster? Not too good, because I've probably do my back in. I'd be the token old person that they always have in every season of Taskmaster. The old person who's like inevitably the only British celebrity I recognise. All the rest are vibrant young British celebrities that I never heard of.
It's Bob Mortimer and other people.
I would be the Bob Mortimer on my season.
Is Taskmaster physical tasks or mental tasks?
Bit of both. Like
it's like kooky tasks.
Weird task, yeah.
Kooky, silly tasks.
Gotcha.
I try and be the person who's trying to do to find the roundabout way of completing the task, but doing it in a way that circumvents things. Like
a task from early taskmasters would be something like get all the water from this bucket into this other bucket without touching either bucket. How would you do that? With just off the top of your head, just
without touching either bucket,
just suck up all the water in your mouth and then run over and spit it into the bucket. And just keep going back and forth. That would be my first thought.
Do you not have tools?
Well, you've got like a house. You can run around and explore a house and look for things that might be able to help.
Gotcha. I think you'd like Taskmaster, Marty.
Yeah,
I know. A lot of people have recommended it to me.
But
yeah, I know what it is. I know it's big British thing.
They're all on YouTube as well, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's all free on YouTube. Officially, the official Taskmaster channel just releases every episode on YouTube, which is mad. It is mad. Anyway, back to Dr. Theo gives another $5. It says, back on topic. I've been having fun modding games to be VR compatible. I've been playing RE7 like that, but you definitely need a stomach of steel. Yeah, I played a modded version of Alien Isolation in VR, and that really made me throw up, because the thing about games that aren't made for VR is that they do a lot of taking control of the camera. Like if your character falls over or whatever, and when you're in VR getting pulled back onto your feet like that, it can be very disorienting.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Anyway, Multingv gives 100 Norwegian kroner.
That's fill my ass up. Fun fact.
Okay. I don't think VR will ever hit mainstream, because for everything it's trying to sell itself on, there's always a big but, as Steph Sterling called them, privilege goggles.
There you go.
Well,
I mean, you might as well just call VR privilege goggles.
I like that. And your ass just got filled.
There you go. Son is Hedgehog gives $5 and says, off topic, but fun fact, OG box art for Mario and Sonic at the Olympics had Sonic's foot ahead of Mario's, but Nintendo wanted it changed or the game wouldn't exist.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that going around this weekend, that Nintendo had like a clause in the contract that whenever shown in promotional material, Mario would always be a little bit ahead of Sonic.
Man, Sonic's such a bitch boy these days, isn't he?
I feel like Mario was the bitch boy in that one, right? Like, our
Sonic is
little Italian plumber
boy.
Can't be shown in second place.
That's Nintendo being a bitch.
That's got the energy. That's got that energy of that fact I happen to know about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, was that they were able to license both Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, but the studios would only agree to it if those two characters specifically both had exactly equal screen time. And that's why the one scene with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse is like a fixed two-shot of the two of them.
It's similar to in the Fast and Furious movies, Vin Diesel and The Rock, I think. Yeah,
they had to have like an equal number of punches landed. Like no one.
Yeah, and they both can't lose. They always draw their fight. Or if one person wins later, someone else will win. So they're always equal because they're meant to be big, tough men. And it's like, grow the fuck up, dude.
Perfect way to create art.
Yeah. Sovereign46 gives €10, says, hey Yahtzee, in order to wash away the bad taste of Thief VR, I recommend playing Gloomwood. Yeah, it's still in early access, but it might do for Yahtzee tries at very least. Yes, I'm going to check that out when it's out of early access, and not before.
Is that a VR game? A VR game?
No, it's just a game that's like Thief. And actually, something that was recommended by like half the fucking comments on my Thief VR video is a fan-made mod called The Black Parade, which I've been planning to check out as well, which is apparently just super, super good.
Cool.
Yeah. As My Chemical Romance music.
As fan-made mods for very old games tend to be. Like there's fan-made mods for, I think it was Jagged Alliance 2, that's like 10 times bigger than the original game.
The amount of dedication these modders have.
I was about to say
mad.
people have dedicated their lives to it for the past
I know.
decade.
They're just keeping
For
alive
no money.
the one
It's nuts.
keeping alive the one niche game that they liked and nobody else did.
Well, power to them.
It's crazy to me that Gloomwood is still in early access because that came out September 22.
I know. What's the longest thing to be in early access, do you think? Well, Star Citizen, obviously.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, you nail on the head.
Rippers.
Yeah. Mr. Pete Bojangles gives $4.99 and says, if Valve could get Half-Life Alyx into rec centers, stroke YMCAs, etc., I think VR would explode. I don't think the general population understands how amazing VR is. I think it certainly would explode if you put it in a YMCA because everyone would sabotage it. And if someone was on it for too long, they'd probably get stabbed.
I think also post-COVID, it's kind of gross to use communal VR
things.
Like, unless you're like really giving them like a stern wipe down.
Game stores in England have them, or had. Before COVID hit, they would have special. It's kind of like GameStop. There's a chain called Game in England, and they would have special rooms in them. One you could go buy your games at the counter, and the other one was like a VR room where they would just have like multiple headsets set up. They smelled terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Foul. Yes, people are sweaty, and sweat does terrible things to electronics. I mean, I ran a video game bar for a brief period, and the controllers at the end of that, the state they were in, just from the sweat.
How did you deal with the smell?
Burn the place
air
down.
Conditioning, I think.
Because I love going to game stores, but they reek.
First room of the bar has to be a communal shower. Everyone has to get a scrub-a-lub down.
Just like a decontamination area, like it's a fucking electronics.
It was decontamination, picture of a koala, then you're free.
President Junie gives $10 and says, the Next Playground was a huge seller this past holiday season, and it's basically a small Kinect-esque console that resembles the Ouya. I think that sort of took the place of Wii Sports stroke the Wii. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so it can't have been that big.
I read about it. It was I read about it over the Christmas break because it was like the big headline was, it sold more than Xbox during the holiday season. I think it was like a big Black Friday thing. Like I think this is like
what the I think this is the first we've seen of this.
I personally think this is a thing we don't have to focus too hard on. I don't think this will be like indicative of anything going forward. I might totally be wrong, but it just felt like it was a right place, right time. Fuck it, well, I'll buy this for the holiday season kind of item.
And also like selling more than Xbox isn't hard. You just need to sell 3 units.
Sure. Yeah.
David Co500 gives £5 and says, for bartending, there's Star Tenders.
That's a good name for a game.
Eric pulled that up. It looked like a
Space
bartending game with a sci-fi look.
Wow, that's just the classic post-dad game, isn't it? It's bartending, but in space.
Man, but you could do bartending game, but then have DLC like Power Wash Simulator, where you're in like the Seventh Heaven bar from Final Fantasy VII, or you're in like the bar from Shaun of the Dead. Like, let me bartend in famous fictional bars.
Yeah.
Okay, like Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons.
Moe's Tavern, the bar from Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
Oh, the bar from Cheers, which is called Cheers.
Can I just give a huge shout out to Walkabout Mini Golf? That game is fucking awesome. It's a great VR game. Got amazing DLCs that got like you can go to Thousand Leagues Under the Sea map. You can go to a Labyrinth map. They've got so many tie-ins with so many different IPs. I think those devs are doing God's work. More power to you.
Oh, Angel Nick points out the Adventure is Night Club could be a good setting.
Oh, that would be sick.
For bartending game.
That could be a good one. Yeah, I've heard good things about Walkabout Mini Golf. As a fan of mini golf games, that seems like one that's
really good
in the plus column.
Wouldn't you have to have the same problem of having to look down all the time?
You do, but it's only for like small sections because usually I would play it with friends. So you would watch them take their shot, and it's really cool because you can like
look
react
down
to
probably
each
as
other
much
and do
as you
facial
do
expressions.
during regular mini golf, right?
Yeah. So. Well, the exact same amount.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Theo gives $5, says, as someone who doesn't care about consoles anymore, getting excited for new VR games and hardware brings me back to when I was a teen in the PS3 age. But more niche, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets you excited, listen, I don't want this to fail. I want this to become a big thing, but I just don't.
Well, people, corporate tech has different definitions of failure and success these days.
Sure.
I mean, like I said, if it's niche, it's not going to make, it's not going to make Wii money.
Yeah.
And if anything less than Wii money is always going to be written off as a failure. But, maybe it could get by. It could get by on its niche audience.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you like the idea of VR and you want it to be a thing, go buy a headset and play the games if you have the means, because you doing that and other people doing that is what's going to encourage people to keep doing it.
Yeah. And eat out at local restaurants. Maintain your local economy.
Yeah. Support local business.
You got some money to spread around, don't just hoard it all. That's how we got into this mess.
If you see anyone wearing a VR headset in public, steal their wallet, see what happens.
Yeah, and punch them.
No, don't punch them. Just nick it from their pockets, and then put like a Queen of Hearts playing card in there as your calling card. It'll be great.
Counterpoint: punch them, steal their VR headset, and then you've got a VR headset.
Now you're cooking with oil.
There you go.
Anyway. Gildon Yatich gives $5. Says, did you hear Luke Ross's Cyberpunk 2077 VR mod has been taken down last week because he paywalls all his mods? Shame. Perfect kind of game for VR. Yeah, don't paywall your mods.
Your paywalling mods are fan game. Like, people deserve to be compensated for their work, but also that is, at that point, like, it's understandable that a company would be like, you're making money off of our game.
Yeah.
Well, it was ever thus. Wasn't like Steam Workshop's supposed to get around all of that.
Yeah.
Apparently not. Anyway, Tazo17Q gives $20 and says, just happy to catch this live for once.
Hey, thanks, Tazo.
Good on you, Tazo.
Thanks for stopping by, mate.
Thanks, Tazo.
Bit of an odd super chat to end on, but that was the last one. So yes, that was the Windbreakers podcast. If you want VR to exist, go buy it. Well, what wiser words were never said. Anyway, yes. Yeah. I was Yahtzee Croshaw. I was joined by Jay and Marty.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoa, yeah.
And content. Yes, that's a thing we do. For example, on Wednesday, if you're interested in Deadpool VR specifically, that's when my fully ramblomatic review for that will be going out. And of course, my usual stream, Yahtzee Tries, will be that afternoon. Not sure what I'm playing yet. We usually figure that out. But
reminder, because some people seemed confused. We're not moving Yahtzee Tries to Friday. It was just last week on Friday because Yahtzee had some
internet hiccup.
Yes, some tech issues, some homeowner problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, incidentally, if you do want to suggest a game for Yahtzee Tries, you could always just pop the Steam link into the Yahtzee Tries channel on the Discord. I do look at that now and then. And I'm always sort of starved for suggestions for what to play. I mean, most weeks I just ask on the Slack, hey, you guys just suggest something.
I'll have a bunch of new suggestions because the video that Eric and I have been putting together of 20 games we missed covering is finally going up tomorrow. And the rule in that video was it was a game we didn't stream or cover in a video. But now that video will be up, now we can stream some of those games.
Just send that video. Boom.
The video won't be a lie. Yeah. I got a couple recos. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my stuff. No semi-ram this week. That's next week. But there will be a Yahtzee Tries compilation review video on Sunday. That's my stuff. What else we got?
Jay, you got a new Design Delve. Went up this.
Yeah, Design Delve came back. I'm back, baby. It's been a while since the last one, but an episode out on time and time as a mechanic and how it can make or break your game. Also, there'll be a Dev Heads this Friday, so come check that out. Also, just released today, I was on the Movie Struck podcast talking about Dark Crystal. So check that out if you haven't.
That doesn't make money for Second Wind, you plugging asshole.
Oh fuck! I've collaborated with friends in the space. How fucking dare I? Go watch that just to spite Yards.
Right, well, if I plug in everything else, buy my books and buy Starstruck Vagabond and just send me money personally.
Yeah, that last one's big. Just send us money personally. Like you can
can I drop my PayPal
put
link?
It in a bottle. You could throw it in the water. Maybe it'll get to us. In terms of other stuff the rest of the week, as I mentioned, no hidden gems this evening. The crew will be back next week, though. Jack and Jenna will be back tomorrow for their normal stream. And then I think Firelink might be on Wednesday evening instead of Thursday this week because I'm going to be gone Thursday night. And so we might just move it to Wednesday. And then on Thursday at noon Central, the normal Dark Souls slot, we're going to be watching the big Xbox showcase, first big showcase of the year, where we'll be seeing Fable. We'll be seeing Beast of Reincarnation, which is the Game Freak AAA third-party multi-platform game. What did the Pokemon developers do when they're out here beasting?
They're actually going to put effort into something.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I guess that'll be it then. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for listening. Have a nice Martin Luther King Day for all who celebrate. Yeah. Remember not to oppress any black people while you're out and about.
Don't do that at all.
And I'll see you all on Wednesday. And until then, bye.
Bye all.